What's up YouTube, it's Fogel, and today we are going to be doing another Starlight headliner kit. I just got a new Nissan 240sx, it's an S14 this time, so we are going to be doing the same thing as my last video, and we're going to be installing a 400 piece Starlight kit into a headliner, and then I'm going to show you how to put it in the car. I'm going to go through everything like I did in the last video, from the Planisphere to the kit explanation to how we're going to lay out the holes, and then how to poke the holes, how to put these in the headliner, and then how to put the headliner back in the car. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Okay, so I'm going to start with explaining the kit. This kit is an upgraded version of the last kit that I used in the other video. So what I mean by that is this one is a 32 watt. The last one was a 16 watt, so by power outage it should be 2 times as bright. So I've decided to get this one instead. So this is the box that you put in your car somewhere. This is the little antenna that the remote sends signal to that says like, hey, this is what color we're using. And then this, I'm pretty sure, is for like music, the music feature, like when the bass hits and stuff, the lights will flash. So that's this. This is way upgraded from the last one. So this is also the same kind of kit where it'll twinkle and the stars will look really real. This kit has different sizes. So like this section is really thick, these are really thin, and then there's like a medium version. So this kit, they have them labeled for you. There is 250 0.75s, there's 100 1 millimeters, there's 40 1.5, and then there's 10 2. So there's really small, kind of bigger, medium, and then like really big. So here's like a detailed shot. So all these ones over here are like the really big ones. These ones are the small ones, and then over here is like the medium-ish ones. So they've already put them together in this thing for you, which is really nice, and it's a really good upgrade from the other kit, so that's a super nice plus. This new kit on the side, it's already put together. It has this nice like silicone rubber coating right here. It goes around the fibers, then they have it taped up so they can't fall out, and then this thing is super nice and legit. It has the screw. If you haven't seen my other video, this part here was on the box itself, and then you had to take all 400 of these and jam them down in this thing. So it's nice of the kit people to have already done that for you, so you don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So all you'll have to do is take your, whatever this is called, I'm going to just call it a screw for now, and you just put it down in the box like so, and then it comes with this little screw on the side, and you just screw that in, and this will just stay in place just like that. So like I said, you just take this and you'll put it down inside your box, tighten that screw up, and then all the light will go in through the fibers and they'll do their thing. So that's a nice upgrade. I like that. Some other things to note with the kit is you get a remote to turn it on and off. These are all your colors. There's 5 modes down the side. There's a music on and off mode, and then there's the twinkle mode, which is called motor on the remote. So that's pretty cool. Some other things is you get a cigarette lighter. What I'm going to do is I'll basically cut this thing off, take the positive and negative, extend it and run it to my battery because I don't have a cigarette lighter in the car, but this is what we're going to use to power it to the car. And then you also get, if you were going to do this in your house, there's a AC adapter, so you can plug it into the wall and turn it on, and you can put it in your ceiling or something in your basement or whatever you want to do. They also give you a piece of paper with a QR code on it, so you can download their Bluetooth app. So that's cool. And then there's some nuts and bolts. Not really sure what those are for. We're not going to use them, so it doesn't really matter. So, like I said, this is a 32 watt, so it should be brighter than the other one. But this is how twinkle mode works. Inside here, there's a motor that literally will just spin. So this like plate spins in here, and it has random holes drilled in it. And what that does is it just like lets random light come up through the fibers. So when it twinkles, like this hole will let light in, this area won't. This hole will let light in. You know what I mean? So it'll just spin randomly, and you can make this spin faster or slower depending on how twinkly you want your stars. So this kit is pretty cool because it allows you to have a very realistic looking night sky, and most other kits, like I've said in my other video, they do not have this spinning feature. So when you're looking to do this and you want it to be as real as possible, make sure you find one that says twinkle mode on it, because you're going to want this. This looks really nice. Just like my last video, I'm going to show you real quick some of what it looks like. I also want to turn it on to make sure it worked before we go any further. But as you can see, it is in twinkle mode right now. So what happens is, like I said, that plate, that's really hard to see. Anyways, like I said, the plate is spinning inside. So you can kind of see some of these are like getting brighter, and then they're going away, and then they're getting brighter, and then they're going away. This is going to produce a nice like twinkle effect in your headliner. So I think it's a really, really good feature to have if you're looking for something super realistic in your car. So again, make sure you find a kit with twinkle mode. But some of the other modes here is like color changing. They have a breathe mode, so it's like slowly. Oh, that's flash. They have a breathe mode, so like breathes, I guess. I don't know. But white's the brightest. Twinkle mode is on, so you can make it like really fast. That's a little easier to see, I think. But yeah. So if you kind of hold them all together, you can see like some of the fibers are really big, some of them are really small. You can feel them in your hand that they're like thicker than others. So yeah, what we're gonna do is I'm gonna take some of the bigger ones, because we're gonna make a real constellations. So we're gonna take one of these big ones and we're gonna put it in every like zodiac sign, and then I'm just gonna use the other small ones to like fill in the gaps and stuff. But this is a really big one in my hand, and this is like a smaller one. Kind of hard to see, but when you get the kit for yourself, you'll definitely be able to tell. That's a pretty good comparison. You can just see that the one on the left is just way bigger of a star. Okay, so next I'm going to explain what a planisphere is. In my last video, we used this planisphere to project this night sky onto a headliner. So we're going to do the same thing here today. So what a planisphere is basically, this is the Earth, and depending on where you live, you find whatever day it is and whatever time it is, and that's what kind of sky in this oval you will see at your house if you were to go outside tonight and look up. So these are some of the constellations that you will be able to see where you live on whatever day it is that you're looking at this. So it comes put together, but since I've already used this once, I've taken the top off. So this is basically the whole sky, or our galaxy, that we can see. So we're going to take this and project it onto that headliner over there. So this Constellation kit Starlight headliner that we're going to do is going to be as realistic as I possibly can make it. Just like in my other video, we made a whole my S13 headliner look super real. We got a whole night sky, so we're going to do the same thing here today. Now it might be a little more complicated because this S14 has a sunroof in it, So we might have to work around that a little bit. I got 400 pieces, which is the same thing that I got on my S13, but it didn't have a sunroof, so we might have a lot of stars. We might not even use them all. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to see how this goes. So yeah, Planisphere. What you do is you find whatever day it is today, and today happens to be March 26th. I don't know if you can see that, but that's what it says, March 26th, and it is 2:10 at this time. So what we're going to do is you find your north, and you find March on the Planisphere, January, February. So here's March right here. You find the 26th, which is the line right here. Sorry. Right here. And it is 2:10 in the afternoon. So if I were to go outside tonight, well, if I were to go outside right now and I could see it, but tonight at midnight on the 26th of March right here, so you put midnight on the 26th, and you look up at the north. If you were to go outside and look north, this is the stars you would be able to see in the sky this evening from where I'm at. So that's pretty cool. This thing's kind of neat. But anyway, what our real purpose is that we're going to do with this is we're going to just take this and put it onto that headliner, because it has big dots and little dots, which is going to be super helpful for us with our kit, because our kit has big, medium, and like small dots. So we're going to take each one of these and be like, oh, here's a big dot, so that's where I'm going to put a big filament, and then here's some small ones, so we're going to put tiny ones in there. But it's cool because there's also, everything is labeled, so you can see exactly where everything is. Like here's a Pisces constellation. There's other cool things like Hercules and Orion and stuff like that. So this is pretty cool. We're gonna just use this to make a realistic looking sky. So that's the whole point of this. But I'll put the link in the description below if you want to get this. It's like $10, I think. So not a bad thing to make your headliner look pretty realistic. Okay, so this is a specific to S14 video, but this video can be used for any car that you're going to do this on. Once you get your headliner out of your vehicle, what I'm going to do in this video is, this Planisphere has lines on it, like in every quadrant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and take a really big contracting level, and I'm going to go from that corner to this corner, and that corner to that corner, and I'm going to try and find a X right in the middle. It's going to be somewhere in the middle of this sunroof, so I'm going to get a piece of paper and I'm going to tape it to that so I can find the middle. Then once I find the middle, I'm going to take this circle right here, put it on that piece of paper that we just found the middle of, and then I'm going to just draw out each line of all of this to graph it out. So I will update you when I get that completed. So my level isn't as long as the headliner, so what you're going to want to do is just find something that's relatively longish and straight. So I just had this like random, I don't even know what this is. It reminds me of like a flag stick or something for like a bicycle. So I just set it in the headliner, or in the level on the same side. So what you're going to do is you're going to have that corner be in the corner of the headliner, and then you're going to use the straight edge of it to go all the way to the other corner, but since it doesn't reach, you're going to need something to extend that line. So grab anything from your house, like a broom, or literally anything that's somewhat straight or flat or long, or something that can go the whole length of this, and then you're just going to draw a line from there to there into the corner, following the level and then following whatever it is that you've used to extend the line. So that's what I'm going to do right now. Also, I found this piece of plywood in my garage, so I'm going to use it as the thing we're going to draw the dot on to find the middle when our corners X. It's probably going to be somewhere like right there, I bet, if I'd guess, but we're going to go ahead and do this and then we'll figure that out. I would highly recommend, before you start this, buying brand new Sharpies, because mine are pretty dead and this is kind of not that great right now. So this is that line I just drew from that corner across and then over into here. So now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing from that corner all the way across over to here. And then wherever it meets, I'm going to assume it'll be probably somewhere like right here, is where we're going to start from the middle, put our planisphere, and then do the other lines. Okay, so once you have both lines drawn, you now have found the middle of your headliner, which is going to be right here. Like I said, you just go in that corner, take your whatever you're using, draw a line, corner over there, draw a line. On the S14, it should just miss the corners of these little foam things, and it should just miss the corner of your sun visor. So if that's helpful, yeah. So now we have found the center. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our planisphere. We're going to put this circle right on the X. Just like that. It's hard to tell. But the X is in the middle. And now what you want to do is you'll take one of the lines on the planisphere, like this one, and you'll line it up with a line that we just drew. And then this one that's going across right here will line up with this line we just drew. And then what we're going to do now is we're going to draw this line, this line, this line is already here, and then this one and this one. And that should project the rest of the planisphere onto our headliner. So you'll have lines everywhere, this way, this way, this way, and this way. And then after that, we're going to go ahead and draw in 400 dots on each one of these. So basically what we're doing is we're taking this and we're blowing it up to a bigger scale and putting it on this whole thing. So okay, I'm going to draw some lines and then I will update you after that. So what I'm going to do now is to keep this in place, I'm going to use some Scotch tape, tape the planisphere to this piece of plywood, and then you're just going to do the same thing. You're going to take your level, and or a small one, big one, small one, doesn't matter, and then put it on the planisphere, and then just draw straight lines, even with the small circle. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so here we are. We have all our lines except for this one. So okay, so we have all of our graph lines drawn. As you can see, we start in the center and then we just drew straight out every one of these straight lines. So now what we have is we have all the sections of the planisphere now on our headliner. So what we can do from here is we're just going to go ahead and rotate this and find what constellation we want where. So for me, my sign is Pisces, so I'm going to spin this until I have Pisces in probably one of these three sections, because right now what we have is the front driver's side of the headliner, passenger side, and the back. So this is going to go literally straight up into your ceiling. So you will be sitting and spending most of your time in this area, right? So you would probably want, or at least I'm going to want, stuff that involves me right in here, or like right here maybe, because there's nothing there. So I think I'm going to just put some random stars through here, come down, put some constellations that are right here in this section. Same thing, put some constellations right here, and then just work my way around until I have all 400 holes laid out with a Sharpie. So my next step is, I know we're not going to want to put any stars in this spot because this is where your sun visor goes, which will always be flipped up, so there's really no point in wasting your time putting stars here. But you are going to want to put stars between these two things and these two things and in this valley here, because if you have a sunroof, then this thing is where your controls are. But you're definitely going to want to put some stuff in this section because it'll look weird if you don't. So I think that's what I'm going to do next. Is I'm going to go get the controller for here and the dome light for here. I'm going to put it in, and then I'm going to trace around it to make sure I know exactly where it is, so I know how close I can get to this. I mean, it doesn't really matter. You could put a star back here and just cover it, but we're just going to do this anyway just to make it easier. Okay, so I went out and got my dome light, the switch. So what you want to do is you basically just take it and you're going to put it in its home, and then you're just going to draw around the outside so you know exactly where to put it. Same with this thing. This is where you have a map light and your sunroof controller. So it's basically on the inside, but if you just let it sit in here, just trace around it, you'll know exactly where it goes. But it actually looks like it's going to be pretty close to the exact size of this thing. So I'm not actually going to even trace around it. I'm just going to keep stars like really close to this. If I cover one up, so be it, I suppose. But we just want to double check just to make sure our trims are good. We want this to be as seamless as possible, right? We don't want any weird gaps of like no stars. So we want as much star on this as possible. Just like out here on this corner, there's like a ridge here where your hand like goes up. So this is probably where the trim is by the door. So we're going to want stars literally as close to this line as possible as well. Because when you're in the car, you don't want any like weird gaps from here to here of like nothing. So we're gonna keep stars really close to this, not out in here, but definitely on this side of this line. So we're gonna put stars out here, all the way out here, and then probably just follow this line as well, because this is gonna go up near the window. So we don't really need stars in that section, but if you wanted to, you could definitely poke some out this way, and you would be able to see them back here if you were standing near the trunk of the car. You could look back through here and potentially see these, but that's totally up to you. I don't think I'm going to have enough to do anything like that, so I'm just going to keep them straight in this section. One thing to note for S14 users specifically with this is that your button here is in the front. It's not in the back. So when you put this in, it's going to look like this. Not like that. Because if you were to draw this and you were going to trace it out to here, you would miss about this much star, which might not be a big deal to somebody, but it is to me. So make sure you put it like this, because you want as many stars as possible up against this back corner. So if you had it backwards, you'd be out here somewhere. So make sure you put your button in the front. Okay, cool. We have our dome light all mapped out, so we don't have to put any stars in this section. Very nice. We actually might not even put any in here, because there's a sun roof trim that goes around here. but it might be kind of awkward to have a dead zone, so I might put literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, something in here just to make it look, because you're literally gonna have no stars from here all the way straight across here. So it might look really weird in your headliner to just have like a nothing. So we're definitely gonna probably try and keep at least 5 or 6 in this spot. So we can move on to the next step. We have this traced out. We're actually just going to ignore this, and then from here to here we're not going to really have anything. So from the top of this straight across to like here, we won't need anything from here to here. So we're just going to kind of work out in this spot like this, and then we can keep some stars out here looking nice, come down in this section, come down through here, come down, then back up and around and out that side. And then to make sure to keep some down in here, here to here, and then back around. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to rotate this and find a spot where I want to start. Okay, so like I said before, I'm a Pisces, so I'm going to start with this. So I found the constellation here. It's basically a straight line with an angle, and then this like 4 shaped thing. So what I've done is, this is where I'm going to sit, so this is where I'm going to put it. So I'm going to start right here. So I have, I messed up, I've got that a little too close to this where I didn't feel comfortable putting that. So I have number 1 here, I have that angle, 2, 3, 4, 5, that straight line over here, 6, and then that 4 dot shape. So here's 10 right here, and I have my first constellation started in this area where I will be sitting. So now I will just keep this right here in this section, because this is where we're at, and then I will just go around. So I will start here, and I will do the Aquariuses. There's also Pegasus, so I definitely want to get that too because it's very neat. And then we'll go around to the next one. We'll do Capricorns, which will be over here. And then after that, we will do the Sages, which will be in this section. Then after that, we have Scorpios, which will be right here. And then you get the gist. We'll just go continually around the Planisphere as you would go around the headliner. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start with each zodiac sign. So I have Pisces, and then like I said, we'll just go here, here, we'll put that in, then we'll go here, 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 and here, and then once we have all the zodiac signs in, we can fill in from them back to the middle, or from them out to the edge. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of those in, and I'll update you after that. Okay, so I have all 12 signs in. Here, here, here. So I have all 12 of the zodiac signs in. And I'm up to 128 holes so far. So now all I gotta do is just go back in and find like some dead zones, like from here to here, with some other random constellations that I will find on here, from here to here. So I will update you when I've completed that. Okay, so update, I have all 400 holes poked. It is 100% completed. So once you have all your holes drawn, you're going to want to take a safety pin or a small drill bit and basically drill and poke every one of these dots that you've made. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and I will update you after that. Okay, so what I did to poke all my holes was I used this sewing needle and a pair of vice grips, and I just used it to push down into the headliner. You can use anything you want. A lot of people use drill bits, safety pins, just anything about this size. This is all I had, so this is what I used. And then I used the vice grips to hold on to it so it didn't hurt my hand or my fingers, and then you just push it down in the holes. So once you get your vice grip and your sewing needle, you just go to each one of your holes and you just push it through. And then you can move on to the next step, which is putting all the fibers into these little holes you just made. Okay, so the thought process here is to get all of the cords into where you know you're going to run it down your pillar. So I have this piece of plastic here that I'm going to run all my fibers down through. That piece goes in this section right here. So the thought is to get all your cords in this general area. They have them split for you by really big ones, medium, double medium, and like the small ones. So I just have them in this drawer to hold on to it. Basically you're going to run them all wherever you've decided to put your sizes in your holes. I think I'm going to put one big one in like each of the zodiac signs so I know where they're at, and then just fill in the medium ones in the same thing, and then all the double medium ones will go in all these other random ones, and then after that you just fill in every miscellaneous one with the very tiny ones. So I think that's the plan for now. So another thing to note is that if you have a sunroof, you don't want to like put it over, because you will see that. So you're going to want to have to figure out how to run them in a channel over to here without going through any of this stuff, like where these go and where this goes. So once you put them in, you'll have to like guide it back over to here safely. So yeah, just be careful when you're planning around big openings like this. So I'm going to give it a shot, and then I will update you in a little bit. Okay, so here's what looks like a giant mess, but I have all of the holes filled in with the fibers, and they are all hot glued in. What I did for this section was I hot glued a zip tie to the headliner before I started, and then just ran all my fibers through it, and out this way, some over here, and out this way. So this is a really good idea if you're like needing a channel like I am. I have another one over here that I'm going to zip tie all these to this, and then I also have two more. One right here and one right here. So these all go out and around and come this way. Yes, so this next step is you need to take the headliner and put it over, say, like this table and this couch. So all these will hang down from underneath, and then we're just going to go through and we're going to cut them all off, or you can get two like dining room chairs or something, just so you have space that holds it up on either side. So we're going to go ahead and cut these off next. Okay, once you've moved your headliner over from the table you're working on to the open space, you should have something that looks like this. These are all your fibers that have come down through the holes. So now all we have to do is just go through and cut them all off as close as possible to the fabric without damaging it. So what I have here is a pair of pliers. They have a flat edge on the back right here. So we can just stick that right up against the headliner like this, and then we just cut them right off. So let's go ahead and do that now. Okay, so once you've cut all of your strands, you can go ahead and plug in the box using the wall outlet. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now because I've found about 5 strands that I haven't used yet. So I just want to look over the headliner and make sure I don't have any weird gaps or anything that I might have missed. So yeah, let's go ahead and turn it on and see what it looks like. So that looks insane. I think without real estate right there in a sunroof, that looks really good. If you see my other video, you know this one looks just like that, and I'm really impressed with this, and I honestly couldn't be happier with the results with missing a square like that. So this looks really good. This is also the twinkle mode that this box offers. So that would be if you were to hit the motor on button here in the corner. If you hit that again, it turns it off, and you can see how the stars just stay one brightness. But if you hit it again to turn it on, you can see that they're getting brighter and dimmer, and you can even speed this up to make it even more crazy. So like I said, that's pretty nuts. And while you have twinkle mode on, you can also turn it to color changing. So this will color change while it's also twinkling, so that's pretty cool. And they have a bunch of other modes too. Like fade, this one's called fade. This one's flash. I don't think I'll ever use that. Fade again. This one's called jump. And then you have all your other basic colors out here that you can pick, and it'll just stay that color, and then it'll twinkle for you, or you can turn it off if you'd like. So yeah, I think this has turned out really good. I'm not seeing any weird gaps or anything, so I don't think I'm gonna go back and add those extra 5. So yeah, if you guys don't have an S13 or an S14, you guys, I appreciate you for sticking around this long. After this point, we're going to now install this into the car. So if you don't have that car, you can keep watching if you want, but the rest isn't really going to apply to you. So I want to thank you all for watching up to this point. If you do this project and you use my video, please feel free to drop a comment if it worked good for you. Feel free to drop a like if this has been helpful at all. And if you want me to see your project after you're done with it, please go ahead and tag me on Instagram. It's Fogel3. I'd love to see what you guys do with this stuff. So, like I said, thank you all very much for watching so far. I know this has been a very long video. But again, thank you. And now we're going to go ahead and install this in the S14. So if you have one, stay with us. If not, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Okay, so the first step we're going to do in your S14 is you're going to look for either this side or that side. There'll be these giant squares that have just nothing in them. I don't know what this is for. I think on my S13 there was an ABS in here. This car doesn't have ABS, but I think they go right here if they do. Mine doesn't have that, so I have this giant hole. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and figure out how to put the box basically in here. It might just sit in there kind of nicely. Yeah, that might work. Something like that. So yeah, we're going to put the box in here, and then our lights will come in at the top, and they're going to go up. Alright, maybe that won't work. Anyway, the lights are going to go up, and then up this way, and then they're going to start like right here, then they're all going to go out and do their thing. Or you could come down this way and in. I don't think there's enough space back here behind this piece of plastic. I think I had it set up more to go down like by the window, and then behind the seat belt, and then back into this. So yeah, I guess that doesn't work like this, but maybe we could set it kind of like that. That might work pretty well. So I think that's what we're going to start with. And then, like I said at the beginning of the video, you're going to want to find the cord that plugs in, which will be the cigarette lighter plug. And then you just plug it into the box right here. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this end off. We're going to cut this end off and just use the two, well, I'm going to use the two wires. Run it under here, go that way, and then straight over into the battery somewhere. Because I want this to turn on at any point. So even if the car is not on, I can still run the stars at like a car show or something. So that's what my next plan is going to be. So yeah, I'm going to put the box in there, I'm going to cut this off, and then I'm going to bring the headliner in and see where the stars line up so I can get them into this square. Okay, so once you have your headliner inside the car, I took the seat out because I think it's just easier, but leave the passenger one in so you can rest it on the top there. But the one thing I have learned from doing the hatch S13 is buy a hatch, because you can just scoot it in through the trunk and it's so much easier. But all joking aside, the thing I did learn though was get your dome light, keep it really handy, because this is the first thing we're going to do. So when you put your headliner into place where it's supposed to go, put this dome light in first, because it's basically right in the middle, and it has these two screws that go into it, so it'll hold it like right in the middle. And then after that, get your tabs, your push tabs here for the S14, which is, lucky for us, updated. The S13 does not have these, but you'll have these two push tabs, and they go in these holes like this, which go in like right here in the middle. So that will have you nice support across pretty much the middle of your headliner. So then you can do the push clips, which are these back here. So you'll have pretty much it all holding itself in until you get back to the front where you can put your sun visors and your mirrors in. So that's what I've learned. So we're going to put the dome light in first to hold it in the middle, put the two push pins in, do the clips in the back, and then work our way towards the front. And then we're going to figure out what to do with all of this and how we can hide it in that hole over there. So let's go ahead and get this thing in, and we'll go from there. Okay, so once you have your dome light, make sure, like I said, the switch is in the front. You put the two screws in, put your push pin in on this side and this side. Once you did that, go to the back and just push straight up on this like valley right here. There will be 4 clips in there. And then you move to the front and you put this bad boy in. I put this side in first because there's a metal, it's a plastic like ledge almost, so it goes in, then you just push this side up and it has a hook on it, and it'll like hook into place. So, but don't forget to plug in this and your sunroof controls. If not, you'll have to take that out and do it again. And don't forget to plug this in as well. There's also 2 screws, one on this side and one on this side. Don't forget to put those in. So now that we've done that, we can put our sun visors back in our mirror. But I think before we do this, I have my wires kind of how I want to run them, over behind the seatbelt and then down. I have a plug right here next to me, so I'm just going to get the box, plug it in, use the wall outlet, and then make sure that this still works the way it's supposed to. Make sure you didn't like nick one of your wires or fibers on anything in the ceiling. Make sure you didn't nick it on like this, getting it into the door, or this section, like bringing it into your car. So we're just going to double check to make sure everything works properly with this and the wall outlet before we get anything too buttoned up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then we can continue assembling the interior. Alright, so I have it plugged in to the wall outlet, little paramour to set the mood, and everything looks like it's working properly. So it looks so cool. Nice. Alright, I don't see any issues or any problems or anything. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to get this trim section, and we're going to try and hide this down here. So yeah, let's try and figure out what to do with this right here. I think this will work, but I'm not sure because there's a clip right here. Might have to trim some of the inside of that out. Not sure yet, but yeah, that's the plan. Okay, so here we are. I got that piece in. It's easier if you push right here. There's a clip, and then there's a clip right here. So if you do the front first, then the back just kind of falls into place. It's easier if you keep them on the inside down here, because there's like nothing in this section, and then they'll go down through here, and as you can see, they'll come out the bottom. Go this way, and then you will just kind of wrap up your extra. Leave it in here, then you'll put your box in there. Then you'll put this piece back on. But yeah, just want to let you know that I got that. So then all you have to do is take the seat belt. Once you put that part back in, this will go back up here like that. And then yeah, then we can just add this next section here. Then you can just do the same on that side. This one you won't have to modify or anything, you just put it back in the way it came out. Okay, so how I figured out how to mount the box is once you get that piece in, you bring this over. There's a hole with it's a square hole right there. You run a zip tie through it, and you zip tie your fibers to that, and then you put your box in the corner right here. You'll have to, there's an antenna on it, you just take that off. It's right here. You just unscrew it. You don't need it. The remote works without it, and there's an app for this, so you won't need this at all. And then there's a line hole right here. There's one here and there's one down here. I ran a zip tie through it because those line holes are also out in the front. So you run your zip tie through here, through the hole on here, and then there's a hole right here that will hold your box in place. Then the tension of these will make sure it doesn't move forward, backwards, left, or right. Some people in the reviews said this box gets hot, so try not to keep anything near it, like this sponge or any sort of foam or anything. I don't know how hot this box gets, but they said it gets warm, so just try and keep things not near it that are flammable, especially because you're going to put a panel over this, so no heat will ever get in or out of the square. But yeah, I just want to let you know that's how I'm keeping my box in place, is with the zip tie, and it's like the perfect width of here. So now all we have to do is run our cord out behind, put it behind the seatbelt, over, and then down under your trim, and then across to your battery. And then also while you're in here, you can put all of your trim back in like this. And then you can put your dome light back in, and your sun visors, and your mirror. And then all you'll have to do is put this cover back on, put your seats back in, and then we will have a completed project. Okay, so once you have your interior put back together, you have all your plastics, your sunroof trim, all of it put back together. When you turn your kit on, you should have something that looks exactly like this. So this is a complete project now. I want to thank everyone that has stuck around this far. I know this video is very long, probably well over a half hour. But I hope I helped you make something really cool in your car. Also, if you have an S13, I have another video exactly like this one. It does not have a sunroof, so if you want to, go ahead and check that video out. So I'm going to wrap this up real quick. If this has been helpful at all, please leave a like. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to leave a comment down below. If you want anything more specific, just DM me on Instagram. It's Fogel3. But if that's everything, then I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you guys make something cool. This is Fogel. I'll see you guys in the next one.